Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday Night Live. We have a very special guest on with us tonight, Emerald Ambassador Tricia Regar, and you guys know her as the Instagram Queen. She is so famous for her Instagram videos that have added so much value to all of us, and she did not have to do that at all, but she definitely is one plexus mentality, so we are so grateful for her. And she is leading the way for all of us on Instagram. So inspirational. And also behind the scenes, if you interact with her or see her, she is just as sweet and humble and kind. And I just love, love, love her. So I'm so excited for you guys to hear from her tonight. So she is going to share with us, starting out, Tricia, tell us your story just tell us what's happened with the products. Tell us your business success story. How did you become an Emerald? All that good stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Also, I am kind of losing my voice. So if I sound funny, it's not because I just took up smoking or something. Just letting you guys know that. Okay, guys, my name's Tricia. Like Brittany said, I started as a preferred customer in 2015. October 2015, I was totally not into supplements. Clarita Yoder, a lot of you guys know who she was. I did not know her. I read her blog. I was super annoyed and super skeptical, but I was desperate for a better pregnancy without throwing up. And I had had 4 babies, and I thought I was going to probably have a number 5 eventually. And my pregnancies are kind of a nightmare. So she posted a list on Facebook that said that Plexus could possibly help with morning sickness. I might have to go get some water. And I messaged her right then, and I was like, we do not have any money. What do you recommend I start with? Because I am desperate. And she wrote back and she said, why don't you start with Just the Pink Drink? So guys, I was a preferred customer on Just the Pink Drink from Matt brought me some water. From October 2015 until March 2016. And the reason that we joined wholesale and ordered the triplex is because my husband wanted to start on the full triplex because he wanted to lose weight. So just a second. Okay. Clarita knew that we did not have a lot of money, but she had no idea how bad it was. And both she and Shelly in April, so we joined wholesale in March, at the end of March, they got me on the phone like April 6th, and it was when Plexus was doing that 15% off sale. And the only reason I remember that is because I was standing in my living room looking out the window, thinking to myself through the entire conversation, this is so extremely boring. When are they going to get off the phone? Okay, that is what I was thinking. And they were like, pumped up, and they were like, Tricia, you could bless your family and you could tell people that the products are like, they're on sale. And I was like, I don't care. Okay. So if you are ever working with someone and they are like that, I just want you to realize that, like, I started that way too. Okay. Little did I know, so that was like April 6th or something. Little did I know that like 3 weeks later, our life would totally change. The income that we were kind of relying on, even though it wasn't very much, basically totally went away. And we were left with a drained bank account, tons of debt. Like basically no options. And both of us believed in the product. So we were left with like, we'd done businesses before, we'd lost lots of money before, but we knew enough about business that we looked at the comp plan and we were like, this is a really good comp plan. So Clarita was probably totally laughing at me. I don't know. But literally less than a month after that conversation, guys, I watched Sheila Medina's The Power of 3, laughed at it, called my friend and made fun of it. Okay. Less than 1 month later, I went all in with the business. Okay. So that like less than 30 days later, I went from super skeptical, this is boring, I want nothing to do with this, to I am all in, I will do whatever it takes. Okay. And that was May 3rd, 2016. And I have not stopped since. Like, I never went backwards. I mean, I went backwards in points. You know, you guys know what I mean. I never stopped. Okay. Because I was totally all in. I was like, this or nothing. Like, I don't know what else to do. So, it's kind of our story. I went silver 15 days later with 3 strangers. I started my journey with 3 strangers, and I feel like most of the people I sign, even now as an Emerald, are still strangers. Brittany's next question was, what do I feel like have been my biggest obstacles? You asked something else. Biggest obstacles are like hurdles, right? And I feel like I started off slowly. So you always watch these, and it was not because I was not working hard, guys, okay? Like, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that I had to put forth a lot of effort. So I messaged all my Facebook friends. Like, I was on Instagram. I messaged like hundreds, probably thousands of people within my first 3 months. But no one really joined because I think, I'm so sorry. I think I didn't really know what I was doing, and I didn't really know how to present things, and I was presenting it pretty much as like weight loss because that's what my husband had seen, and it just didn't really click for some reason. So anyway, I went silver in 2 weeks. I went gold like October, and then I didn't go senior gold until the following March. But here's the thing. Here's what I never stopped doing. The thing I never stopped doing was I never stopped sponsoring. And I feel like that is so, so, so important because even if it was really, really slow, I never stopped. So even if it was like 6 people, like in December, I sponsored 6 people. Like my team sponsored like 8 people, and I sponsored 6 of them, and I was gold. In January, I sponsored a stranger, and she started working the business in February. Some of you know who I'm talking about, Hope. And I went from senior gold to emerald in 6 months. So like it started so slowly, but I just kept doing what I knew I was supposed to do. I kept messaging people, and I kept sponsoring like anyone I could find. I started doing 7-day trials, a lot of 7-day trials, and Hope was one of the people that bought my 7-day trial. So
That's awesome. Okay, so what was the turning point for you that took you from senior gold to emerald in 6 months? That's crazy. Was it because Hope joined and she started growing really fast? And she was a stranger, you're saying?
yep.
You met her on Instagram.
I
That's
had no idea who she was. All I knew was that she was a homeschool mom of 5. That's the only thing I knew. I literally knew nothing about her. And the funny thing is, guys, are you going to be posting this on YouTube?
I don't have to, but I was planning to.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. So, yeah, guys, I didn't know her at all, okay? But here's the thing. She had so much trust with the people around her. So that's what happened. And I feel like once your team gets into momentum and so many people start getting added, it just starts something. And then the people on your team that maybe weren't adding, like everyone just starts adding more and more and more. And that's how I went from senior gold to emerald, which was crazy. So
That's amazing. Okay, so what would you say are the biggest keys to your success? How have you been so successful with your Plexus business?
okay. Number 1, I would say vulnerability. Like, so I just read this quote the other day, okay? When people first meet you, the one thing they want from you is the real you. The one thing they want from you is vulnerability. And the one thing you want to keep from them is vulnerability, right? And I feel like it is so important to let people in. Let people in. I heard someone say yesterday, you have to turn the camera around. Like we're so tempted, like on Insta stories or whatever, you know, especially if we don't look our best or who knows what, to always have the camera facing away and to be talking about things that are away, and turn the camera around and show them your face and pull them in because they want to know you and they want to hear from you. Okay, so number 1, I would say vulnerability. Number 2, okay, guys, so with that vulnerability thing, like one of my level 1s didn't join for a very, very long time. But when she did join, she screenshotted a post. She's another stranger from Instagram. That I had made on Christmas, or Christmas Eve of 2016, saying like there are 4 presents under the tree. They each cost less than $10, and my husband just wrapped the presents while I am sitting here bawling my eyes out. Okay, and she screenshotted that post and she said, "This is why I was like, okay, I think I might join this girl." And even though she didn't join for a really, really long time, like, I feel like that says something. Like, people have got to feel like I have the same struggle. Like, you have a struggle, I have a struggle. So anyway, vulnerability. Number 2, guys, is hard work daily. Okay. Everyone, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If you say who wants to go to Maui, like literally everyone in the room will raise their hand. Okay. If you say who wants to make $10,000 a month, everyone in the room probably will raise their hand. Okay. But Brittany's been on the leaders board, so she probably, I'm sure she knows the same thing, guys. The first time I was on the leaders board, I remember thinking to myself, like, it seems so glamorous to be on the leaders board. You have no idea how we got there. You have no idea. Like, it is hard work. Some days are easier than others, okay, but it's hard work every single day. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I don't feel like putting up a post. I don't feel like working my business. I don't feel like talking to my team. You know, you have to put in the work even when you don't feel like it. There are late nights and there are early mornings, and sometimes it's both, and you just have got to keep going. So number 2 is you've got to put in the effort. You got to put in the effort. Like, I mean, seriously, like, the funny thing is, like, especially if we talk about like a stuck jewel, right? Like, I remember Sapphire telling me one time that she was stuck, and I was like, I don't know, senior gold or ruby. And I was like laughing inside. I was like, you have no idea. Like, you're stuck at making like $15,000 a month. Like, I'm so sorry for you. You know what I mean? But anyway, number 3 would be sharing confidently. I really, really, really believe that so much comes from our wording. So if we share confidently, like if we're like, you know what, I think these products might help you. Or if we're like, you know what, I have watched lives changed over and over and over for the past 2 years, and I'm looking over your health goals, and I know that these products could change your life. Okay? People will join confident people. That's what I really believe. And positive people. Guys, positive people. I see people on their Facebook feeds at 10 o'clock, they write, I cannot stand my husband. He is so annoying. And at 2 o'clock, they write, you really should buy Plexus for me. I'm like, seriously, guys? Like, you have to draw people in, and you have to be like consistent in what you're talking about, not just like off the walls. Okay. Oh my goodness. And then the last thing would probably be consistency. Like, the same thing with the hard work. You have to, like with my Instagram, I post every single day. I normally post 3 times a day. I post at 6:30 a.m. I post around lunchtime, and I post at night every single day. And it's basically like, someone wakes up in the morning and they pick up their newspaper. That's the way I want them to view my feed, right? Because they wake up in the morning and they know that Tricia has posted, because I feel like people will be more likely to come to your feed if they're sure that you've already posted that day. So yeah, Brittany asked about keys to success. I think those are probably it.
Yeah, those are all of the keys that I think any jewel would say. Hard work, be consistent, be confident. Where do you think your confidence comes from? Like, how did you build your confidence in the products and the opportunity and all of that? This is an impromptu question, so
That is such a good question.
I'm making
I don't know. I think, like, I just really, really, like, even more the business than that. Like, I've watched it. I have watched us go from making nothing to making 400 to the checks just getting bigger and bigger, and them actually paying our bills, and them actually paying off our house, and them actually paying for me to buy clothes at Old Navy. Like, I've watched it grow, and I know what it takes, but I feel like it builds belief over and over and over, because you see small steps, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've watched it now with my friends too. So
yeah. So if you guys don't know, Tricia just paid off her house. She's on Instagram as Clean House with Kids. You want to follow her. She's so amazing at Instagram. Her feed is beautiful. I love it. It is my newspaper, just FYI, Tricia. I like to look at it. Okay, so the next question is, so now you're doing all this attraction marketing, you post, you got this jam going on with Instagram, and now all these people are coming to you So what do you do with these people that are asking for info or whatever? What do you do once they ask you? What are your favorite go-to tools, or like what information are you sending? Do you have to follow up a long time? How does that work for you?
Okay. So like I said before, I sign like 98% strangers, okay? And I really feel like with a stranger, you have to get them from, I do not know you, I do not even know your name, to I will join your team, okay? And sometimes it has to happen so fast. So the important things, two things, guys. Number one is trust, and number two is connection. And I feel like those Insta stories that I was talking about before, I feel like if I could point to one thing, it would be my Insta stories. Because I feel like even a stranger coming across them would see me, and I try to do one video a day that adds value. I do not mention Plexus. Like on my Insta stories, I probably mentioned Plexus like 7 out of 10 videos or 7 out of 10 things, okay? So they are basically just getting to know me, and I share mom tips, and I share like today I was like, hey, it's a rainy day and my kids are really restless, so this is what they're doing. And I turn the camera around. So that was first on my face. Remember, guys, you have to show people your face. And then I turned it around and I showed the kids like playing with my jewelry, okay? So it's really, really important because they have got to know you or they won't join your team, like obviously, right? So that's really, really important. Now, yeah, every third to four post on my Instagram, I put up a Plexus testimony. I have tried facts, guys, and they do not work. I don't know if it's just my audience, but like putting up factual posts for me, I don't know if it's Instagram or my audience or whatever, it really does not work, okay? So for me, the Plexus testimonies are really where it's at. So I pick one and I put one up, sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night. And yeah, most people do come to me, and this is what happens. They're going to comment on my post and they're going to say, Tricia, what are these supplements? Okay, so I'm going to comment below that. I'm going to reply and I'm going to say, sending you a message. Do not reply publicly. Same with Facebook, guys. And then I will, click on their name and go to Messenger on Instagram, and I will send them a message, keep it super, super short. And I will say, hey, Sarah, thank you so much for reaching out. So these supplements that we take, they're all about core health, so balancing your blood sugar and hormones and gut health and reducing inflammation. It's one line. It's one line that I copy and paste, and then I have the Fab 4 graphic. I don't know, maybe Breanne Coolidge posted it or something. I don't know where I got it. And I send that. That's it. And then I end it with, how does this sound? Do you mind sharing your health goals? Okay. It's literally like this small on the screen, everything that I send them except for the graphic, which is a little bit bigger. And then they're going to reply and they're going to say, oh my goodness, for the past 2.5 years, I've struggled with X, Y, and Z and all this other stuff. So then I'm going to reply back and I'm going to be like, wow, thank you so much for sharing all of that. Because you guys have to realize these are strangers. These are people that I do not know. So for them to divulge all these details, like you really have to take a moment and like relate to them and appreciate the fact that they just like shared with you like all kinds of stuff. Okay. And then I typically say like, wow, that sounds really hard. I have a friend who also had IBS and she's doing so much better, whatever. And then at that point, I normally either send them the triplex video, which is just that cartoon one. If you just go to YouTube and search triplex, it's going to come up. It's going to be like 4 or 5 down. I normally send that one. I always used to send All My Darling, but after All My Darlings is that side effects video, and people are getting really turned off by that. So anyway, that I send the other triplex video, and then I say, let me know what you think about this video. And then I say, are you on Facebook? Quick question. Are you on Facebook? My name is Tricia Regar. Do you mind friending me over there? And then I put them over on Facebook. If they're not on Facebook, which lots of Instagram people are not, I send them screenshots of like what the triplex could do for you. And then I get them on the phone or I get them over text. A lot of people I do. Or we just go back and forth on Instagram. But then if I get them over on Facebook, then I have an information and testimonies group on Facebook that I created 2 years ago, and I will tag them. So she'll friend me, and then I'm going to send her a couple voice messages, and again, thank her. Thank you so much for finding me over here. I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add you to the share group that I run. It has tons of testimonies, tons of product information. There's a search bar. So if you want to search celiac disease or headaches, or energy, or the triplex, or chromium, or whatever, just put it in the search bar, and then let me know if you have any questions. And then I'm going to tag her in probably 2 testimonies of whatever her health goals are, and I'm going to tell her, looking over your health goals, here's what I would recommend. I almost always recommend the triplex, and then I go from there.
Okay. That's good stuff. Okay, so how do you keep track of all these people, and is the follow-up process long?
Oh, it depends on the person. I mean, some people I follow up for 2 years, and then lots of people I sign in like 24 hours. So it really, really, really depends, just like with anyone else. How I keep track of them? Okay. So I used to, like, even last week, I was writing down the names of everyone that came to me and said, I want more information, but there's really no point to do that. So once I get the feeling that they're actually more interested and we've gone back a few times, then I kind of have 3 lists going. I have one list that says I sent them the website, because you know how many people you actually send them the website and then they don't order. But it means that they were really, really interested, right? So one list is going to be sent them the website. Number 2 is going to be very interested, but we didn't get to the website yet. And then number 3 would just be like general follow-up. So these people were interested, but they were like, hey, now's not the right time or something like that. So I will follow up with them later.
Okay. What is your onboarding process once they join?
Onboarding, you mean like getting them to share?
Just whenever they join, what do you do with them next? How do you get them started? All that.
Okay, so I basically do what Emily Gibson does. It's called the 4 touches. So another system that I just created, guys, is when someone joins, I will put their name on a notebook paper. I will put their name, and then it says Instagram name, and then I have 4 boxes. I draw with a pen and a notebook paper, guys. I am not fancy, okay? I do 4 little boxes, and then over the right, I've started sending people like a little thank you package. Then I'll do, have I sent the thank you package yet? Yes or no, right? And on the 4 boxes, so as soon as someone signs, I send them a message and I say, thank you so much. I'm so excited for you. Here in a bit, I'm going to send you some tips and instructions on getting started with the products. So my first box is probably 2 days later. I am going to send them what's in the thank you package. Okay, what's in the thank you package? Guys, I just started doing this, and it's to help attrition. Because here's the thing. This is probably another challenge, okay? When you sign strangers, you have a lot of attrition. And I think attrition is just natural, but also like it takes a little while. Yeah, they'll join your team, but they'll not necessarily share, and they'll not necessarily continue. So this is just another step that I just added in to help with more connections, because the more connections, the better. The more connections, the more trust you build, right? Mm-hmm. So in the thank you package, there is a handwritten thank you note. There is an e-sample, what's the other one? Body cream sample and a chocolate protein powder. And I explain how I would do each one and why I like each one. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Here's some fun goodies as a thank you. I love the chocolate protein powder like this. I love the ease because of this. And the other thing is, I feel like it's a really simple like introduction to, hey, there's more to Plexus than just 3 products. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
That's great. That's a good idea. I love that. Okay, Catherine asked, do you have any ambassadors in Canada? And if so, what would you recommend, because they don't have the triplex?
Yeah, I just asked this. People are kind of divided between X Factor Plus and Vital Biome. So I kind of described to them like, this is X Factor Plus and this is Vital Biome, and then let them make their decision.
Okay. So. All right, awesome. So Emily asked, what are the 4 boxes?
Okay. So the 4 boxes, number 1 would be sending Brooke Hemingway's what to expect when you start these supplements, and a little chart with the schedule. That's the first thing I send, and then I say, let me know if you have any other questions. And then a few days later, the second box would be just checking in to make sure that your products arrived. And have you tried the pink drink yet? What do you think of the flavor? And then I actually do the little emoticon with like the excited like tongue sticking out, because this is something that I actually taught my team about wording and emoticons. Like, they are actually powerful, okay? So if someone sends you a message and they say, what do you think of the pink drink so far? And they do the little emoticon, it's like kind of tense, like, that emoticon, it's like, I'm not sure, right? People actually will do that, okay? That is so terrible. You have to like get them excited about it. So that's why I actually do the emoticon every single time that has the happy little like excited face. So I do that. That's my second box. Then my third box is typically sending like the detox video from Joe Ernest. Again, guys, just search this on YouTube, Joe Ernest detox tips. And then I'll say like, hey, do you feel like you've gotten into a good routine? Do you feel like you've experienced any detox? And then we typically go back and forth a few times, and then I'll kind of feel out if I should send them more about detox or not. Mostly it's, do you feel like you've gotten into a good routine? What day are you on? And then number 4 would just be like, hey, it's been a month. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's very similar to what we have going on over here. And I love what you said about branding. Well, you didn't say branding, you said connecting. But when you are talking to strangers, you do have to connect, and the way you do that is through your brand. Like you don't, like, connecting with them is not necessarily having a long drawn out conversation. Not always. Sometimes it can be. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends, but the trust is built when they go to your profile and they see your account or whatever. Because I've recruited quite a few strangers too, and I will talk to people that I've never met before. And the first thing they do is, who is this person? What is she about? They go to your page and they want to know. And if you're not branded well, they're going to probably not even respond to you. So your brand is everything. And so I'm so glad that you said that. That was a really, really good point. All right. And it's right at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to let you go, Tricia. But thank you so much. This was a really, really good. Is it okay if I put this on YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I think everybody will find this very, very valuable. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us and pour into us. We love these tips. I'm sure we're going to watch this over and over and take notes. So we really appreciate you, and we will call it.